All right, we're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on March 31st. Yesterday, I'll just be honest, our worst day yet of the MLB season, by far our worst day. We're going to bounce back today. There's some bets I really like today. And yeah, we're going to get back on the right track to kick off the new week. So before we get into the best bets, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel, taking this all the way throughout the entire season, pushing this all the way. I guess the World Series ends in November now. So from here all the way till November, daily MLB Best Bets. I'm going to also, folks, make sure to join us later today for our college basketball best bets. The college basketball crown starts today in Las Vegas. 4 games, 4 best bets. Make sure to go check that out in an hour here on the channel. And later today, our NBA predictions as well. Also on Greedo Plays MMA, yesterday we posted our UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Murphy full card predictions. So go make sure to check out that. And also go make sure to check out our PFL predictions later today on Greedo Plays MMA, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. On to the first of our 5 best bets today in the MLB, and we start things off with an early game between the Kansas City Royals and the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't think the Brewers start 0-4, okay? Guys, they're not playing the torpedo bats anymore. They should be fine. That is a joke, but at the same time, they don't got to play the Yankees anymore, and that's going to benefit them greatly. I don't think the Brewers are that bad. Now, the Yankees started off the 2025 season with a historic offensive output, right? 4 runs in the first game, whatever, 20 in the second game on Saturday, and then yesterday, a 12-run game for the Yankees. So if you're keeping track, that is 36 runs scored in the first 3 games. That's not going to cut it. I get that for the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't think that's going to continue to go the same way, and they're taking on the Royals, a team that went 1-2 in their first series against the Cleveland Guardians, losing the first game in extra innings, winning the second game, and then dropping the final game yesterday. The pitching matchup tonight on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers, it'll be Elvin Rodriguez, and for the Kansas City Royals, it's Chris Bubich. Should be solid. Again, I think it's a fairly evenly matched matchup, and I think we're okay here with the Brewers. I really think we are. Guys, this team at the same time, yeah, they gave up 20 runs on Saturday. They scored 9. I know, again, the other games, they scored 2 and 3. I still don't think this is a horrible Brewers lineup. I mean, you know how demoralizing of a start these games have to be for this team? I mean, you're down, 5-1 after 3 innings, and then you're just like, all right, well, we're screwed, right? I mean, the Yankees playing at their ballpark, they're tough to beat, not gonna lie. Even with the injuries this season, the Yanks are gonna be very difficult. I still don't think the Brewers have a bad lineup. I think it's a really good lineup. Again, is it good enough to win the Central? Potentially. I mean, they've done that many years in a row now because, well, it feels like they're in the playoffs almost every single year because the NL Central is just bad. But, Bryce Turang, Jackson Churio, Christian Yelich in the 3, Wilson Contreras, it's not a bad squad. They should be able to figure it out. And I think the problem with the Royals, and I think it was the problem last year and it's still the case now, I don't like this lineup. Okay, Bobby Witt's in the 2. Pasquantino can hit. Salvi Perez, sure. Again, Salvi's going to have his nights. But other than that, I mean, Jonathan India leads this team off. Michael Massey, Hunter Renfroe. It just doesn't feel like that great of a lineup. I think the Brewers have the better, I think they have the better 1 through 9. Pitching-wise, again, I think it's a fairly evenly matched game. But with the Brewers at home, and they're kind of due for a win at this point. I don't think they start the season 0-4. I think they are slightly better than... I don't know if they're slightly better than Kansas City, but especially with this game being in Milwaukee, the Brewers, that horrendous start to their season, I doubt it continues to go that way. They have talent, don't get me wrong, right? With Yelich, with Contreras. Yelich has started his season 1 for 10, if I'm not mistaken, from the plate. Contreras, I think, is 1 for 12. That's going to start to turn around, and I don't think Elvin Rodriguez is horrible. The Brewers' bullpen hasn't had the best start to their season, and they have had to go to them early, right? Savali pitched, 3 innings yesterday in their loss to the Yankees, so I get that. Their bullpen is somewhat depleted, but I think the Brewers are going to be okay in this spot. Early morning game or early afternoon game for Milwaukee. They're at home, back at American Family Field, and I think they beat the Kansas City Royals, a team that I am just not moved by. They had their run last year, making the LDS, losing to the New York Yankees, but man, look at this team 1 through 9. Jonathan India, Bobby Witt, Vinny Pasquantino, Salvi Perez, Michael Massey, Hunter Renfroe, Michael Garcia, Furman, and Isbell. I don't know. They were good last year. They found a way in. Other than Bobby Witt, man, I mean, Witt and Pasquantino, they're going to struggle to score, and I think the Brewers get them tonight. Give me Milwaukee at home to kick off the day. You look at the odds, -120 for the Brew Crew. That's exactly where we're going in this one. Brewers at home, -120. We go on to our second best bet of the video, and we go to our daily player prop. Now, yesterday, Mike Trout didn't come through. So we're going to go to the best player of Mike Trout's generation, Bryce Harper. I'm joking. Okay, that's nothing but a joke. Bryce Harper's been like 5 more postseasons than Trout has. That's not Trout's fault. I'm just saying that. No, I'm not serious at all. Mike Trout is the best player of the generation. Regardless, though, Harper might be number 2. We're taking Bryce Harper over on hits, runs, and RBI of 2.5. We get good value on it, too. Plus 105. I'm seeing this anywhere from plus 110 to plus 105. We're going to side with, one of the best hitters, if not the best hitter of this generation, Bryce Harper. I think it doesn't get talked about enough that Bryce Harper has not played a full season of baseball. He's gotten very limited full seasons of baseball, right? He got one last year. Harper is fully healthy now, though. And I think that's a big deal. I really think it is. Bryce is fully established, right, as one of the best players in the sport. That's undeniable. So far in 2025, Harper playing against his former team in the Washington Nationals. Trust me, I get reminded of it every time he plays. He went 1 for 4 on Thursday, 2 for 5, or on Saturday against the Nationals, right? The Nationals, hey, shout out to our guys, shout out to the Nats winning yesterday. That was some big stuff. That was some really big stuff. But Harper, 4 for 13 on the season so far, and the pitching matchup tonight is one that I think Harper will feast on. It's German Marquez. Bryce went 1 for 4 yesterday against the Washington Nationals, picking up a hit in the 3rd inning against Mitchell Parker. Well, okay, today Harper gets German Marquez. It's a righty-lefty matchup for Bryce. And Harper, career-wise, is batting 333 against Marquez. I think it's over 18 at-bats, but still, that's a decent enough sample size to recognize, okay, Harper, this is a matchup that he likes, I think. And I'm willing to say that I think Harper probably goes yard tonight, and obviously a home run would clear everything for us, right? A home run for Harper would be a hit, an RBI, and a run. But even if that doesn't happen, right, the Phillies this entire game, I think, are going to be on the bases. I think it's no secret to anyone that the Phillies are probably going to dominate the Colorado Rockies, right? Colorado played their first series in Florida against the Tampa Bay Rays, and they got one game in that one. They won the second game on Saturday. Guys, the Phillies are 3-5 times better than the Tampa Bay Rays. No disrespect. I just think the Phillies are that good. And that's why, guys, we'll get to the Nationals in a second. I have some hope right now for the Washington Nationals because they only lost 2 out of 3 against the team that I think right now is probably going to win the World Series. So, there's hope for us. There's hope. Anyways, the Phillies are going to be on the bases all night long tonight. They're going to, right? I mean, you look at the offensive output this team had on both Thursday and Saturday. Yesterday, they got shut down. All right. Mitchell Parker went 6 1/3. Great outing for the Nats yesterday. But this Philly team's going to get on the bases. There's Bryce bats. They've had him in the 2 and the 3 in this series. Right now they have Schwarber, Bohm, Harper. That's fine. I expect Schwarber, Bohm, and hell, even the bottom of the lineup too, guys like Rojas and Marsh to get on base for Bryce, giving him a lot of opportunities at RBI, and then all it would take would be, okay, runners on 2nd and 3rd, Harper at the plate, a hit, and scoring 2 guys would win this bet for us. I expect Harper to get 5 at-bats tonight, just because I think this is going to be complete domination. I think the Phillies are going to chase Marquez out of there, so I think Bryce really only gets two appearances against German Marquez, but then we jump into that horrible Rockies bullpen. It is better, I think, than last year, because last year, oh my God, it was all-time horrible out of Colorado. It's still not very good. This is going to just be one of the games where the Phillies blow them out. And I think Bryce is going to get to the plate a million times, and I think he's going to have a bunch of opportunities to, A, get a hit, B, cash in, and get some RBI, and at the same time, okay, potentially scoring as well. So I think it's a really good bet for us. I'm gonna take Bryce Harper on the over, again, runs, hits, and RBI. I think it's a great spot for us. So I'm gonna take Bryce Harper here on the over. As we move on to our 3rd best bet of the video, we go to the Washington Nationals best bet. It's the money line today. Guys. I know the Nats are 1-2. I think it's a really great spot for us. The Nationals have not won a series in Toronto since 2012. It's been a minute. I'm going to say right now, I think the Nationals win this series against Toronto. Okay? I was on the verge of completely just, I don't know what the right word to say is about this, but like I was on the verge of just throwing the season away before yesterday's game. Yesterday gave me hope for the Washington Nationals. I'm still severely concerned about Dylan Cruz, who has had about 12 at-bats and 10 strikeouts. I'm not joking. I don't think that's the exact number, but that's what it feels like at this point. That dude cannot hit the ball to save his life right now, but I think Dylan Cruz will be okay eventually, I hope. I think he is 0 for 12 with 10 strikeouts. I'm not joking. I think that's actually what it is this year. Oh my God. That's horrible. Anyways, the Nationals go on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Another thing I like in this game, I didn't make it a best bet, Mike Soroka over strikeouts. It's 3.5, guys. And that's a big factor why we're taking the Nationals today. I think this is going to be the theme, and obviously we have the Nationals every single day on the channel because, I watch every single Nationals game from start to end every single day. A big thing in this game, I think, is going to be Mike Soroka, and that's why I'm especially keen on the money line here. It's not, Nats overruns or whatnot. No, I think they win the game outright. The struggles for the Nationals this entire season is going to be the bullpen, but the big, I think, story of this team throughout the entire year will be, okay, their starting rotation is great. I think Mackenzie Gore is going to be, hear me out, top 5 Cy Young this season in the National League. I think, Jake Irvin potentially is going to be all-star caliber like he was last year. Mitchell Parker surprised me a lot yesterday, but shout out Mitch, going 6 1/3, 0 runs, right? And now we're going to see the other two guys in the starting rotation, Mike Soroka. The Nationals gave him $10 million in the offseason from the Chicago White Sox. It was a big signing for the Nats. And then Trevor Williams is the 5th starter. And guys, if you haven't been paying attention, Trevor Williams has been quietly very good the last couple seasons. So I'm just saying, watch out for Trevor Williams this year. He's not going to go more than 5. He's not going to go more than 6 innings, but he's going to fill it up and he's going to give you a very solid outing. So watch out for the Nationals pitching. I think really, again, this team, and this is why we're taking the money line too, this team's going to figure it out as long as the bullpen holds. And this was the problem in 2019, but hey, they won the World Series that year. And I'm not saying the Nats are going to get close to the World Series this season. I'm praying that they can somehow make the playoffs. But if the bats continue to figure it out, which yesterday, guys, Abrams, Wood, and Garcia, 1 through 3, went 0 for 12 combined. It was Josh Bell and Nathaniel Lau, Lau had his 2nd home run of the season. Josh Bell cashed in with a 3-run shot. And Paul DeYoung, who we've been harping on, went 3 for 3. So the vets showed up. It's just the young guys, Abrams, Wood, Garcia, Cruz, JY went 1 for 2, who cares? So I'm not harping on him. But, right, Cruz, Wood, Garcia, and Abrams just didn't show up. That's not going to continue to go that way. Trust me, these guys, this team's 1-2, which we'll take, with Abrams batting 154, Wood 167, Garcia 250, not putting any of the blame on him, and then Dylan Cruz, who's 0 for 12, okay? They're going to be fine. Jacob Young, batting 143, picked up a hit yesterday. That's cool. And you look at the Blue Jays. Okay, I love the matchup with Toronto. I'm kind of mad that we're not going to see Max Scherzer, but it is what it is. Tonight, Bowden Francis. Okay, I believe the Nats hitters on their active roster right now are 2 for 17 against Francis. Limited sample size, I understand. And historically, you look at Soroka against the Blue Jays. I think they're batting like 300 on them. I'm not too concerned. Soroka's actually playing winning baseball again, or somewhat, until like July. But again, Soroka's not on the White Sox anymore. He's going to be a lot better this year. And Soroka was quietly very good last year too. Regardless, Bowden Francis, good starter, don't get me wrong, making his 1st start of the year. I'm hoping the Nationals can chase him out of there. I don't know about early, but I think, again, you sit back on his breaking stuff. I don't know. Again, Keibert Ruiz has been performing really well. You got a lot of veterans on this team that hopefully aren't going to overextend and chase early. So we're hoping we can build counts with Ruiz, with Lau, Bell's going to chase. But like with DeYoung and Cruz, let's just hope. This is what I want out of Dylan Cruz today. Don't swing at the first pitch. The entire game. I don't care. I need that guy to see some pitches because he's swinging and whiffing 3 times in a row every single at-bat that he has. So Davey better tell him, watch the first pitch, dog. Just let the first one go, and then we'll readjust from there. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they need to do to get Dylan Cruz going. He'll be fine. He's the greatest college baseball player of all time. He is. I think the Nats get the Blue Jays today. I think they're able to get going on Francis. And at the same time, guys, the Jays' bats haven't been electric this year. I'll make the case the Nats' bats have been a lot better. I mean, they scored 8 runs in the game on Friday against the O's, 5 on Saturday, but they're 2-2 going into the spot. Scored 3 runs yesterday, winning 3-1. I don't think the Jays shut down the Nats to, that. I don't think they shut them down to 1 run tonight. I really think the Nats are going to get at least 5 on the board today, and that's what they've been doing in every single game this season. So, honestly, I was very down on this team after Saturday's game where they lost 11-6, but when you look at it in the grand scheme of things right now with this Nationals team, guys, they played one of the best teams in baseball. They went 1-2, and they scored the first game they scored 3, but they were competitive and scored runs in every single game. I get the Saturday game wasn't really competitive, but they were scoring runs, and the offense is there. The starting pitching has looked good in every single game they've played. It's just the bullpen, which, yeah, it sucks. But let's be honest, if there's one concern you want with the team right now, it is their bullpen. That can get fixed. The guys 1 through 9 and the 5 starters, yes, it can get fixed, but it's a lot harder. I'm okay with this right now. I really am, and I think the Nationals go to Toronto and win, and I think this will be their first series win up in Canada since 2012. So let's go Nats. Straight money line tonight. Soroka is going to dominate, and we're going to get going hitting-wise. C.J. Abrams will hit his first home run of the season this year, and it's going to happen on the first pitch of the game tonight. Let's go Nats plus 145. To our next best bet, the NRFI of the day. Unfortunately, we hit the first NRFI yesterday that we did not hit. I don't know. I tried to double down on the Rays and the Rockies. I got too greedy with it. All right, I got too greedy because I was like, all right, we barely snuck by on Saturday with the NRFI. We got the play at the plate where it was who got thrown out the plate? It was Caminero got thrown out the plate, right? I got aggressive. I took it again. Didn't go our way. It's all right. We're 3-1 in the NRFIs, looking for some more success today, and we're going to the Giants and Astros. My approach for this, and for NRFIs in general, is do I think the first 3 guys in the lineup can really hurt us? I'm going to say no for either of these teams. Well, okay. The Astros, okay, there's Yordan Alvarez. But, guys, the Astros have scored 3-1-2 in their first 3 games. They haven't been, and I get they're playing the Mets, but they haven't been an offensive juggernaut so far, okay? So, both these teams did not score yesterday in the first inning, and when we look at the Giants, what they've put out with their first 3-4 guys in their lineup has been Lamont Wade, who's yet to get a hit this season, Willy Adames, who has struggled after coming to San Francisco. It's 3 games, I understand, but still, he's, I think, 1 for 9. Jung Ho Lee, who's back, who's great. I'm not going to lie, Jung Ho Lee's great. But then Matt Chapman, who, good hitter, has pop, known for being a fielder, though. But yes, Matt Chapman is solid, and Heliot Ramos is good, too. What's going to be big for this game with us, with, who is it? It was Blanco on the mound tonight for the Houston Astros, right? Yes, it's Blanco versus Jordan Hicks for the Giants. But what's going to be key for us in this game is that Blanco sets down both Lamont Wade, who does have pop, but swings and misses a lot, Lamont Wade and Willy Adames. That's going to be big for us. And I get it, Minute Maid Park, Hitters Park, down the lines, but still, that's going to be absolutely crucial, that Blanco gets Wade and Adames. And from there, I'm not scared of Jung Ho Lee taking us yard. I'm scared of, okay, Jung Ho Lee, doubled and Chapman single run scores. That's just going to take a lot. So the way I'm approaching this is I think Blanco is going to get both Lamont Wade and Willy Adames, and I think we'll just get out of it somehow with Jung Ho Lee and Matt Chapman and potentially Heliot Ramos if it gets that far. Okay, that's cool with the Astros. Pitching-wise. In terms of the Giants, tonight it's Jordan Hicks. I like Jordan Hicks a lot. Guys, Jordan Hicks had a sneaky, very good season last year that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. Jordan Hicks was really good last year. Former relief pitcher, now a starter with the San Francisco Giants. He was good. He was able to go deep in games at times, and I think Jordan Hicks, again, for just becoming a starting pitcher recently, he's been amazing. So Jordan Hicks tonight gets the Houston Astros. We're not scared of Jose. Okay, no, we are scared of Jose Altuve. He's batting .455 this year. Isaac Paredes hasn't really been performing too hot so far this year. Yordan Alvarez, always a threat. I know Yordan's batting .125 this season. That's going to figure itself out. Trust me. He's 2 for 12? Is that 125? That's definitely not 125. Anyways, Yordan's always a threat. I think Christian Walker's batting .083. That's going to figure itself out too. But I like Jordan Hicks' stuff. I really do. And I think Hicks is going to find a way to shut this down. And it all starts, like we said, with the Giants, starts with Jung Ho Lee. Well, this one's going to start with Jose Altuve. If we can get Jose Altuve out of here, Jordan Hicks can. I think we're going to be fine. Paredes hasn't had the best start to the year. And yes, Jordan's got pop, and we know he's always a home run threat. But if Jordan Hicks is able to get Altuve and get Isaac Paredes, then okay, we're just, hoping that Yordan doesn't take us yard. And then, if he does get on, then it's kind of, okay, we're just hoping then Christian Walker doesn't take us yard, right? So I don't mind this at all for Jordan Hicks. I think he's going to be able to find a way to get 3 outs, and let's stay hot with the NRFIs. So Giants, Astros, Blanco, and Hicks. Give us 6 outs. That's all I'm asking for. Final best bet of the video. Yeah, I know we're picking against the Mariners again. I said it a couple days ago, and I'm going to say it again. Fading the Mariners and tailing the Athletics can be my 2 favorite things this season to do. I think so. Now, I'm staying away from the A's tonight. They're at home making their debut in Sacramento. I want to see how that field plays. All right, so we're not gonna bet that one tonight. I'm going to bet against the Mariners, though. We get a Tigers team who's hot off losing 3 games against the Dodgers. I'm gonna make the slight comparison to the Tigers and the Nationals right now, okay? The Tigers were just playing the best team in baseball. And for what they were doing, they're playing a team with a multi-billion-dollar payroll okay, who cares? You lost 3 games to the Dodgers. You got robbed on Friday. Saturday, it is what it is. Roki Sasaki goes to the dugout and starts crying. Like, all right, I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy. I can go cry in his millions of dollars. Anyways, and then the Thursday game, very close outing. They lose by 1. Okay, right? They get walked off on Friday by Mookie Betts. I'm not concerned about the Detroit Tigers. I'm really not. And they didn't get to play yesterday. So a very rare Sunday off day for both the Dodgers and the Tigers. The Dodgers have the late game tonight against the Atlanta Braves. Staying away from that one, even though the Dodgers should dominate because Atlanta can't hit a beach ball right now. But yeah, I'm all over the Tigers here to beat the Mariners. So the Mariners barely escaped out of Sunday with a victory. We had A's money line again, and unfortunately it didn't go our way. Tyler Soderstrom with the solo home run. He's doing his thing this season, and the A's couldn't put up more than 1 run, right? Julio Rodriguez, it's the 2-run shot, drives in Robles, and the Mariners win the game 2-1. That's fine, guys. But that's how the Mariners are going to win. That's how they're going to win baseball games this year. You know how they're not going to win tonight, though, is by doing that. I get it, the Tigers' bats aren't great, but they showed up in Los Angeles, and tonight, and we're probably going to stay away from the series other than tonight. I'm not going to lie. Because, then starting on Tuesday and Wednesday, we see Logan Gilbert, we see Luis Castillo. I might play this one on the Castillo scoop all day because we're probably going to get good odds. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to lay away from Casey Mize versus Logan Gilbert. But tonight, Emerson Hancock's in the mound for the Seattle Mariners. I like Hancock. I think he's got really good stuff. This is by far their worst starter, and I think the books and at least the public is thinking, okay, we know how great the Mariners starting rotation is, right? We know how good, Kirby's hurt, but we know how good Logan Gilbert is. We know how good Brian Wu is. We know how good Miller is, right? I mean, Luis Castillo, they're all great. Emerson Hancock is a long relief type guy just because right now, or a AAA guy because of the fact that George Kirby's here. And that's, they've had an embarrassment of riches of starting pitching talent here in the Mariners, how they had Robbie Ray a couple seasons ago, right? I mean, they've had so many great starting pitchers with this organization. Emerson Hancock's just not on the same level as these other 4 guys. When Kirby comes back, right, Hancock is going to go to the bullpen, and then the Mariners are going to have the best rotation in all of baseball. The thing is, they still don't hit. And guys, I like Jackson Job's stuff. I really do. I think Job's pretty solid. Job, 22 years of age, right? We're going to see him. And I mean, last year he wasn't bad in his very limited sample size. He pitched, 4 innings? We're going to see a lot more of Jackson Job this season. Obviously, a highly touted prospect. He's going to be making starts all year long for the Detroit Tigers. Pitched a very limited sample size in the playoffs. Didn't do the best, but it's okay. Job's going to be really good this year. And I think the Tigers are going to start putting a lot of people on notice. I think the problem with them, like the Royals and hell, the Mariners to a certain degree as well, I don't think they have the problem the Mariners do in that relation. But their bats, I think, are gonna limit them because their starting pitching is so great because of Scoop Ball, because of Job, I believe, this season, and because of Jack Flaherty as well. We'll see how Casey Mize does this season. Olsen too, he can hoop. I know it's a baseball expression, but still, I don't expect the Mariners bats to do anything. I don't expect them to do anything every single night, any night. And also, are the Mariners winning back-to-back games? No, guys, the Mariners suck. I don't care what anybody's saying. Their pitching is excellent. Everything else in their bats are absolutely horrible. Julio hit a home run yesterday. That means he's not going yard for another week. Okay. 2 runs. Oh, big deal. They scored 2 runs. Okay. The Mariners won't be able to hit Jackson Job. I think it's going to be a great first start for Job. And if you wanted a first start to the year for a rookie pitcher, Jackson Job, this is who you wanted against a team that's going to whiff, and whiff even more. Give me the Detroit Tigers in Seattle. They're going to pick up their first victory. That's why the line is where it's at, and that's why we're getting plus money on the Tigers. It's because they haven't won yet. They just had to play the Dodgers. Guys, if the Mariners went to Los Angeles, they would have got swept too. Give me the Tigers plus 100 here at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Trust me, we're not going to fade the Mariners tomorrow. Wednesday, we probably will, though. So, folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB best bets, and make sure to join us later today for our college basketball best bets and our NBA best bets as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.